Hello again, and welcome to my channel. I always seem to be the last one to come to a party, if you know what I mean. But I'm never late. But in some things, I've seen this deck by Ciro Marchetti out for a little while, and I don't know too much about Kipper cards. I'm mainly a tarot person, and I've been delving into Lenormand for maybe 4 or 5 years. But the Kipper cards are a little different, but they look like an interesting system. This is the second deck I have. I have the German one. Let's see. Oh, it's me. I might be able to. Of course, when you want to look for something. Is this it? No. Anyway, I have the German ones, and I like them, and the Kipper ones. I still have to put my phone over them to translate the meanings again, but I use sort of the method that I saw online through the Truth and Story site, which is an excellent site, and on a method of reading Kipper cards, and it looked interesting. So anyway, so I ordered this. It must be through Amazon, but it was like a month or more ago. Of course, they're giving priority, which they should for other types of deliveries. But so anyway, so I decided I would get this one. And so it's fin de Siecle, which is the end of the century. So I guess it's referring to the end of the 19th century or the end of the 1800s, when Queen Victoria reigned from, I think it was 1837 to 1901. And so it's sort of the Victorian era. So this is sort of the end of that, I guess, the end of that century and the beginning of a new one. I guess that's what the meaning is. I've never read the booklet or anything. So fortune telling deck, it's called, and there it is there. And then the back of the box, I'm not going to bother reading it, but it does say it comes with a 83-page illustrated guidebook. Because the book that came, of course, with the German deck was surprise in German. But nowadays you can just point your phone at it, and it will translate to the best of its ability. And sometimes it says something that's not exactly how we would phrase it, but most times you get an idea of what do you look. I'm going to commit surgery on myself. There we go. But I ordered this, and it came today, and so I decided I would look at it with you. And many of you probably have already seen this deck many times, but I thought that I would look. So how does this open? Is it it's magnetic. I like those. Oh yes, it's nice. It's a nice. I like the feeling of the booklet. I like that feeling. So it looks like a nice book, and it has an introduction and card meanings. Probably one of the few times that I'll actually read most of this, because like I said, I'm fairly new to Kippers. Kipper cards, I mean. Yeah, so that's interesting. So I will put that on one of my to-do lists. And we have here the cards, and they're larger than most Lenormand cards, although I do have ones that are getting on to be close to that size. Oh no, it's still a little bit. I gilded the edges of this deck. I forget exactly what the name of the deck is, but it's that one. And I just did some treatment on the side with that ink, but it was a pad that was kind of dry, but I may do. All right, so let's have a look. Oh my, let's see. Oh, and it looks, because I'm gonna see if I can sort of pull it up just a little bit and just nick it. Okay, well, that's a good sign. Oh, it's electrostatic, so. All right, so here they are. And most Lenormand decks that I like, I don't like the titles on the cards. But that's a personal preference. And I'm that way with tarot decks as well. I like them not to be titled. That way they don't have to have, 5 or 6 languages on a card. Just put a symbol or whatever. But this is a system I'm not too familiar with. But so let's see now. See, maybe I can focus a little better on that. The cardstock is well, it's glossy. And it's not too thick, so I think it's going to riffle well. I see that it is edged in silver. The main female. Come a little closer, maybe. Mariage. I wonder how content they look. Yeah, it has that, it does have that Victorian feeling to the card. She probably has whalebone. Courtship. I'm not too familiar with the reading of them and the directionality. The mature man. He reminds me of an actor. It's not. There's one guy, the fellow who played on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I think he passed away, but it's not him. But there's another actor that looks sort of like him. That's who he reminds me of. And mature woman. She looks like she's sort of going to be telling you, leaning over to tell you gossip or something that she wants you to hear. I'm sure I'm just reading that into it, but that's the interpretation I got by looking at her face. She's going to say, oh, yes, but listen, darling, you shouldn't be going out there by yourself or something like that, I guess that's what a mature woman gives you sage advice. The message. So I wonder if this is along the lines of the Rider card in Lenormand, or even the letter. The false person. Interesting. Change. I know that there's directionality with the way the vehicle is pointed. That's a very nice card. He's a really interesting artist. I have his Lenormand deck, and I think I have several of his tarot decks, I believe. I don't use them, but they're not exactly my cup of tea when it comes to tarot, but I appreciate them, and they are loved by many people. Journey. Sudden wealth. Ding, 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 ding. Make a wish. Privileged lady. She looks like well, this is only personal, but the daughter of a friend of mine. Very pretty girl. Wealthy man. The cardstock is interesting because it's not too thin and it's not so stiff that I have some cards that are edged, and I have from Baba Studios, one of their earlier. I bought all the early decks, but the early version of what's the one that has all the skulls on the back? Oh, the Gothic, or the Victorian Gothic, or the Victorian Romantic. I have that one, so it's something Victorian Gothic. Anyway, I find that it's I like riffling my cards, and I don't like, sometimes they can damage them, but there's a feeling to it. Some people are oblivious that there's a back to the deck, that you can break the back of the deck. And once you put a kink in once you put a bend or a crease in your cards, well, your deck now just becomes a study deck, because you'll find that you'll cut to that spot or near that spot a lot, and then when it comes up, then you're going to doubt whether it's legit or whether it's because there's a crease on the card. So, but a lot of the decks nowadays are easy to replace. Lovers. Thoughts. I think this in the German deck is called His Thoughts. Gift. Child. That's sweet. Coffin. House. And that's very Gothic. But, the streets at night weren't exactly overly lit, right? And until the Victorian era, they weren't lit at all. And then only in the affluent neighborhoods and the more larger urban areas did they put the gas lighting in, and that only lasted a little while. So no wonder, Victorian era was, by and large, look kind of spooky, because everything's atmosphere. All right, and family room. I haven't read with Kipper really what I can discern from the German I did take in university and the translation apps, that this is more concerned with our inner, because we have circles around us, right? And then the inner circle, so unquote. Well, we have a number of different circles, concentric circles. So I guess this is within the inner ones. It's not the inner one, or the inner one. It's the one you're still comfortable in and sharing with. But there are other circles we only share with our spouse. Then there's circles we don't even share with that person. The official person. It's official. Courthouse. I think in the German version, I think it means court person or something like that, but maybe I'm wrong. I wonder if there's another court person. Thief. Yeah. And then they blame the poor individual that's for, I don't think anyone wants to do that, but sometimes walk a mile in his shoes. The high honors is different decks, I saw the one I have, I can remember it, and then there's, maybe I haven't seen any other Kippers, but that one and this one. But I see that. This is the 21 gun salute. That's a very high honor. Like, for example, 21 gun salute in the Commonwealth countries would only be for, for the Queen or some other big events, because that's a very royal salute. So they do 3 volleys of 7, I guess. Great fortune. That looks like a golden statue. Unexpected income. And there's with the Victoria's head on the coin. Expectation. I think I heard either someone say or in one of the other sites, because there's some really good. I think the Card Geek is another fantastic. She's just she's just so knowledgeable. So was Kelly from The Truth and Story. But you see that I think it's sort of, this is a waiting, and expecting something to come or coming down the road. But I think it's almost like her, and sometimes it's her thoughts, right? So you read the cards around, I guess. Because you have his thoughts, why don't you have her thoughts? Prisoner, well, that's ghastly. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Yeah, look at the mouse. And the lock is so tantalizingly close, right? His ticket to freedom, right there. Okay, and adjudication. I wonder why that word was chosen, because there's adjudication, AD, when you go get, or arbitration. So adjudication, and maybe it's just a, that's interesting. Alexa, what does adjudication mean?
Here's something I found on Wiktionary. I have a couple definitions for the proper noun. Jude, 1. The penultimate book of the New Testament of the Bible. 2.
Hey, Alexa,
one of the apostles.
Stop, please. See, that's what sometimes happens with technology, live and in person. So, the universe does not want me to know what adjudication means right now, but it means something along those lines, adjudication. So, come before, maybe it's all together, they come together in the court system, or the court system. Bad health. Yeah, I heard someone say that it's really, this is sort of minor health issues rather than, maybe just a bout of bad health. Well, isn't this something? Even the dog is... Well, that is despair, but I don't know. I guess we all have capability of experiencing that. But, you can change. Concern. Occupation. Pathway. Yeah, in the I like the I like that. I would, because looking at this card and the card from my other deck of Kipper Deck, I would have put, forbid me for saying anything, but long pathway. Because sometimes a pathway is a shortcut. But I think this card denotes sort of more of a journey. But I could be wrong. Distant horizons. This reminds me of a deck I have, a tarot deck, and it slips me which one it is, but where there's fantastical flying ships. I've never, I guess I can understand it in a way, but in a way, no, I don't. I know the symbolism. I know what the ship, can symbolize, and through the air, and the only difference between our liquid ocean and our air ocean is just, I guess, density. But I never caught that. It's not that I'm not whimsical. It's interesting. Poverty, well, that's very chimney sweep-ish, very Mary Poppins-ish. We think about poor chimney sweeps back then, but you had to sympathize with them. They had a horrible existence because they were used because they were small, because they were forced up chimneys to clean, and some of them would get stuck up there and just die up there, and or if they can't get them out, they burn them out. It was horrible. And then they were exposed to all that soot and creosote, and a lot of them got cancers and on their skin, and very very specific type of testicular cancer as well. Sad, eh? I guess I'm just Debbie Downer. Toil and labor, yeah, as opposed to the occupation one, which is sort of, I guess, just what we do. This is tedium, I would imagine. Yeah, a lot of people did very dangerous work back then. I remember growing up, I grew on the East Coast, and a lot of uncles in my family were coal miners and stuff, and they would have fingers missing, and difficult breathing. You could always tell the coal miners because they looked like they wore mascara because the coal dust was in their eyelids, and yeah, that's a toil and labor. You gotta salute them, that's for sure. And a community card. So I take it that there's these other cards are extras, and that's just 36. So there's 3 extra cards. Let me look to see what the standard deck is. Does it say? No. I'm assuming the standard deck is 36. So you have 3 extra cards: poverty, toil, and labor, and community. Well, why would you put that? What we focus on comes. So if you focus on a lack of money, that's what you're going to have, is a lack of money. Anyway, so let's have a look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little bit of a... I'm going to have to raise a little bit, I think, or pull this towards me. So I just want to see how well they riffle. First, I'll see about the shuffling. Oh yeah, no problem. They're silky. I found that this man's decks are always first quality of everything. Sometimes the style is not exactly, but that's just me. But I buy them because I like them. But I feel that I can't tell the story with them, if you know what I mean, for those readers. Oh, yeah, and they riffle nicely. Oh, and they feel, look at this. Well, I'm not going to get a visitor tonight, so this can't mean anything. And so, oh my goodness, looking I had that on camera. Well, oh yeah, no, I'll be posting this. It's one way of humbling myself. And I don't read reversals. Well, I don't think anyone does in this deck, but was that it? I think that's it. So I guess I should be watching my hands rather than watching what's on the screen. Yeah, see. Anyway, they do shuffle just beautifully. And let's put a few cards out. Well, I don't know how well. Let's see now if I can get that glare off. 9. Anyway, so they'll look very pretty, I think, out on the deck, out on your table. Although they are kind of a little darkish, if you know what I mean. They're Victorian-y, so any of the night scenes would be candle lit. The streets are lit, but the card itself is dark. So I like very bright cards. Yeah, these are nice though. Anyway, so I hope you liked the review of my horrible shuffling. Yeah, give me a 2 out of 10 for that. And so I hope everyone has a nice day, and that it looks like things are starting to improve. So I'm very optimistic that things are improving. So anyway, everyone have a nice day. Bye bye.